Okay, guys, in this video we're going to talk about a shocking news story that I am absolutely shocked to see, and that is Hertz Global Holdings, the car rental company, has filed for bankruptcy. So on Friday night, the company filed for bankruptcy, and the stock simply fell off a cliff. So the shares had already been down a ton since the coronavirus pandemic, guys. So if we take a look at the longer term chart here, we can see that the stock had been down fairly big here. So let's pull up the 6-month chart to give you guys a broader view. Okay, we can see that the stock was at around $20 back in just February, and now it's come all the way down to basically $1.73. So let's take a look at that press release here. So as you can see here, it says Hertz files for bankruptcy. Hertz filed for bankruptcy Friday night, lays victim to sudden economic downturn sparked by coronavirus pandemic. The company had been renting cars since 1918 when it set up shop with a dozen Ford models. Has survived the Great Depression, the virtual halt of U.S. auto production during World War II, and numerous oil price shocks. By declaring bankruptcy, Hertz says it intends to stay in business while emerging a financially healthier company. The impact of coronavirus on travel demand was sudden and dramatic, causing an abrupt decline in company's revenue and future bookings, guys. So, this is just like many other companies that were already basically poorly positioned in their marketplace. So, bankruptcy by J.C. Penney, Neiman Marcus, J. Crew, and some oil companies as well, Whiting Petroleum, Diamond Offshore Drilling. And this basically just, the company was absolutely devastated. So without people traveling and flying and things like that, majority of Hertz's business is correlated strongly with the airline stocks. It just means to simply basically couldn't survive. So what does this really mean? It says a bankruptcy filing does not mean a company will be forced out of business. Many companies have gone through the process and gone to post record profits and things like that, guys. So shares have absolutely tanked on this company. So now what I want to talk a bit about is basically how this will basically affect it. So as you can see here, it says Hertz shares closed down 7.5% on Friday and have fallen 82% so far this year. Shares moved sharply lower in after hours trading. Shares are likely to become worthless as part of the bankruptcy process. So when this company files for bankruptcy, guys, basically they're going to be clearing off a lot of things on their balance sheet and basically trying to eliminate their debts and trying to restructure things. But what that ends up meaning is that shareholders are basically going to lose everything. So it's kind of sad because the company actually posted record revenue last year, but they had $18.8 billion of debt on their books as of March 31st. And most of that debt is within vehicles, guys. So why is this important, even if you guys don't own Hertz stock? This is one of the most important things I think people should realize when you're investing in stocks in general, and a point that I'm trying to drill home on this channel. You really want to, when you're investing in companies, guys, you don't want to necessarily put all your eggs in one basket. So I know a lot of you guys out there believe in owning just one stock or two stocks, but that in lies the risk. So shareholders went from $20 to worthless in just a span of months. And also the second thing I would say is when you're buying stocks, make sure that you're buying stocks in companies that can stand on their own. One of the problems with Hertz is that most of their business is correlated to airline travel. So if you guys have ever flown internationally or flown domestically, you know that most people, when they fly to a new city, they're probably not going to take their car with them across the country. So after that, they want to head to the car rental place and rent a vehicle. And therein lies one of the problems with investing in a company like Hertz. It's too dependent on outside forces. So a better company that's really not dependent on outside forces would be, something like Amazon or Apple. These companies can operate independently and they don't need other industries to do well. So complementary businesses like Hertz are really struggling in this time because they can't survive on their own. No airline travel means no car rentals, guys. And the third tip that I would give about Hertz Global Holdings and stocks like this, guys, is use stop loss orders. So if you're ever I want to talk about this in depth in a future video, but I think this bankruptcy shows that a lot of people out there say sometimes, oh, I lost everything. Well, you guys can use stop loss orders. Just check them out on your broker. Every broker has them, whether using Fidelity, Robinhood, Webull, TD Ameritrade, Interactive Brokers. You just use a stop loss order. So a stop loss order means that, let's say you bought Hertz stock. Let's say you bought it right before the crash. You bought it like $15, right? You can put a stop loss order at around like maybe $13 or $10. And what that means is if the stock continues to go down to $10, it will automatically execute that order. So you can't lose your shirt. And this is so important, guys. If you're investing a lot of money, you simply don't want to lose 80 or 90% of your investment and then hope and pray things return. That's why it's so important to use stop loss orders. So most people, when they buy stocks, are using market orders or limit orders. But on the sell side, a stop loss order is a great way to protect against losses. So I hope this video was informative, guys. It's really sad to see all of these people basically lose their investment. But that's just another example of how investing in stocks is risky, but using certain strategies and using certain tips and staying aware of how companies are operating, you can protect yourself from some devastating losses. So I hope this video was interesting, guys. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this content, and smash that red subscribe button and subscribe to my channel for more videos. I post videos on the stock market every day, so be sure to stay tuned. So that's until next time, guys.